for this?
We are back, but I am back. Bill Miller here, Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com. And again, I am Bill Miller, co-host of this show, along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us on the line, the prognosticator from right now, arguably the sports capital of the United States, Cleveland, Ohio.
That's right.
Jorge Mish. How you doing, George?
Wonderful, wonderful.
What's up, George?
I have a great stat for you to start the night.
Oh, outstanding.
Perfect. Let's go.
To love the NFL football, they've officially gone 11 and 76 minutes without scoring a touchdown in the NFL.
Nice.
We got another doozy on hand with Denver, 3-0 Texans.
Well, for those of you who eventually just had enough and turned off the TV on last night's suspenseful game,
which should have been all of us, by the way.
Yeah,
I never turned it on.
It did finish the two of the high-powered offensive teams as well as defensive teams in the NFL. Seattle and Arizona finished to a 6-6 tie after 15 minutes of overtime.
I wasn't really sure exactly what I was rooting for, so let me
to be over.
I'm glad it wasn't the over. Let me give you my scenario. I actually had a ticket with Broncos money line.
You? Oh my Lord, a ticket?
Can you believe that I actually had a ticket?
Yeah. Wow.
And I know you don't look at my games, George, but I was 9-0.
I never see him anymore.
Well, you need to go on the website.
I don't go on the website.
Right. So anyway, I'm 9-0 going into that. I have a ticket.
9-0.
I have a ticket alive with a Broncos money line. So I put a little bit down on Seattle plus 1.5. And then as the game is going on, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of looking at it, and I initially just put enough to win my money back and then some, But I'm like, this game might actually end like this. So I took Seattle plus 180 during the game. So I'm like, just in case Seattle wins this game, right? And then as I'm riding along, I put a little bit on the under in game, which, ended up hitting. But I was in jeopardy because it was 18 is when I actually took it. And if they would have scored that touchdown at the end, either one of those touchdowns at the end, I would have pushed. So, but anyway, so it came down where I actually did pretty well because I actually still have the ticket available. I hit the 1.5 and I pushed on the other ticket. So I guess it was the best case scenario. But
so your 4-0 in college, Bill, just went down the sewer.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
I was when I saw Bill's bets, man. I was very impressed with that college day.
And
I asked who picked for him. He says him.
I did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Jay had gone to work, and it was Thursday morning, and I realized I got to get my picks in.
Yep.
And although none of them involved a Thursday or Friday night game, and I just sat there and I kind of looked at them, and I said, I got to go with these. I think I'm just going with my gut.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, and I was.
You should have done the pros too.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, I spent a little bit more time looking at the pros, and you can tell. That's just the way it went. But I am happy with the way Saturday and all those people that probably lined up and said, "Oh, this guy's a loser," and I'm just going the other way. Yeah,
that's what you get.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You're on the verge of 500. Just so you know. You're creeping up there. One good week you could actually get 500.
And I'm gonna, Jay promised that we'll get together on Wednesday and do these.
Oh, good.
And so
I'm 56%.
56%.
I'm not going to tell you, George, because then you'll get mad at me.
No, I don't think it doesn't matter.
I think I'm at 61%.
Okay, that's fine. The season's not over. Boston. Are you the one who was a Boston College fan?
I'm not a Boston College fan.
Oh, who was the one who was doing? Who's Michigan fan? You?
That's me.
Okay, all right. So you're happy Ohio State lost, but I'm even happier because I love Harbaugh, who ran a fake punt up 34-0. That's just what a classy guy.
That's right.
Anyway,
but you gotta. Unfortunately, the way that college works is winning by amounts makes a difference, and it's unfortunate
or throwing the red flag out with 57 seconds left because they spotted the ball 2 yards difference, so he could get a first down.
Wait, I thought you didn't watch the games.
I don't watch the games. It's on the internet. I have plenty of time to peruse the. Just go on Walter Football. Look at Jerks of the Week. He made it a couple times.
Did he? Oh, good.
Yeah. All right.
I'm glad that people are hating on them. That means they're doing something right.
Yeah, you're doing very well.
Yep.
So that's it.
Well,
Good show.
yeah. Anyway. So George, you got a front row seat to this, buddy.
Yes.
Being in Cleveland.
Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, of course, is game one of the World Series. What's the vibe, man? Because you're right there.
Oh, it's all Chicago. Thanks to the ticket brokers, they sold out in 17 minutes for the 4 games at home, if they go to the 4 games. But half of them are from Chicago, and they're all going about $2,000, a little bit less than $2,000, to people who have never been there before because they have the money, and it's $4,500 if it's in Chicago. So it's corporate America, which I have been part of for my whole life. But
Yeah.
it's just beautiful. But
That's
the
a little
little
bit
guy
less
can't
than the
get a
NBA
ticket.
finals.
Yeah.
That's more than the NBA was $1,000 exactly. Give or take a couple bucks, and the Indians are at $1,500. So, and they're starting that downtown tomorrow. Is obviously with the Cavs opening and getting their championship rings and stuff. They changed it a half hour early so they could get in both of them because they're within 50 feet of each other, maybe a little bit more than that, but close enough to get a beer.
Yeah. I didn't realize
That's
that they
great.
were that close.
They were very close, yes. You have a very, very close. Matter of fact, you can use, there's plenty of ramps that you can go. You park in the same garage, and then you get lost. But I don't know. I mean, there's so many. The Schwarber guy, I guess, is got a very good chance of playing, which he's, when he got hurt, he was hitting like 900. But is he rusty? And then Salazar has officially been put back on the Cleveland roster, but he can only throw 75 pitches. And is he rusty? So Arizona's fall league is not where you're getting the greatest of people to get you back in shape as far as top-notch pitching or hitting.
No, not exactly.
We shall see. But they've gone this far, buddy, and anything is possible. I still predict that Kluber's going to pitch 1, 4, and 7, but nobody says that, but I just believe he will.
I think that'd be great if it went 7.
Oh, absolutely. I think it would be true poetry as far as Major League Baseball. First of all, it's been a great year for Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say that, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Dodger fan, and they actually won the West and made it past the Nats, and unfortunately came up short against the Cubs. I don't obviously have a dog in this fight, but I would not mind obviously seeing the Cleveland Indians win. I can honestly say that. And
okay, Bill, you can cash the check now.
Thank you. Just want to make sure I
Hey,
got that
let's
plug
keep it in the Central.
Yeah.
I mean, we got it last year, and
Yeah.
Cleveland pulls it out this year. Let's do that.
So, but let's put it to this way: it has
On
not
paper,
been.
it should go 4.
It has
but
not been as long, obviously, that the Cubs actually been in a World Series, yet alone win one.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember those Tribe teams in the '90s. I mean, those were really powerhouse teams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there was even a hint that those teams had a little bit more swagger, and they kind of thought that they had it all wrapped up. But this team is a little bit more humble. George, you were there for all of those. And
oh yeah, except Florida. I went to bed thinking they won until the next morning when the paper hit my door. So I had a few of them extra maker's marks. I should have just stayed asleep. And that wasn't Jose Mesa's fault, by the way. It was Tony Fernandez. Let's get that out of the way before you really get me mad. So that's about it.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing a good series, and I'm going to go back to when initially when they went on that long winning streak,
Right.
and we had our show,
right.
and I actually said right after they were in the parade for the Cavaliers, I said, watch Cleveland, the Indians, come out of this. Then they started winning. They won, I think, 19 games in a row. And I was like, we could go back to that parade, and I think that they saw that parade, and they kind of felt to themselves that they can do this. So I'm not counting out Cleveland. I would like to see them win. It's
You
not
believe
that I
all
don't.
of that you just said?
Was that?
that they're all excited about the parade and stuff.
Well, no. I mean, they were actually in the Cavaliers parade, and
No, I
right
understand.
right
So were the
after that is
Monsters.
when they went on their
Yes,
streak.
I
So-
understand.
So I mean, I wouldn't count them out. I mean,
No, I wouldn't either.
I still think that they had a sense of that winning, and they kind of that's kind of like still thirsty to them. So I'd love to see
all
their
they have
series
to
go.
do. This is what has been happening. All they have to do is get 5 innings out of the starters, and then you bring in that monster, or wherever. Because I thought this guy was 8th or 9th inning, but he pitches anywhere, and he'll pitch 3 innings. if
Yeah,
you
my
want him
cousin
to.
Andrew. Yeah.
From the other side of the family. Yeah. Oh no, wait, he has facial hair too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, I claim them if they're successful. I claim if they're
Yes, I
losers.
would
Okay.
too.
All right, I believe you.
Yeah. But George, let me ask you this, and
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Had the Cavs lost, do you think that the Indians are still playing lights out baseball for the remainder of the
Sure,
season?
I don't think it has any bearing whatsoever.
Okay.
That's just, I mean, it's different sports.
But there's more pressure on them, obviously, had the Cavs.
Oh, I'm sure, but
Lost.
it's not that much pressure. I mean, that the joke in the Cleveland paper today is that LeBron has his Indians hat on, but his underwear still has the Yankees insignia on it. So it's hey, you got to go for the team. So we'll see.
That's I see what you're saying there, Bill. But look at the Browns. What are they 0-6 now?
Yeah, 7.
That's not even
Oh, 7.
right.
Sorry about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hey, I did actually bet them last week, just so you know. Plus
for you.
8, and they covered for me in a big way.
The guy never
Touchdown with
loses,
the minutes
Billy.
ago.
Billy
Yeah.
never loses.
Who?
The guy next to you.
Oh.
Actually, I do lose about 39% of the time.
Yeah, well.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just took an in-game bet at the under 37.5, so we'll see how that goes.
And that score is still 3-0.
Still 3-0. A minute ago in the first.
Yes, so we're
Woo.
getting down to we're going to officially 6 quarters and 3 minutes.
Yep, Denver's.
I tell you.
Houston is driving on Denver's 25.
Yeah.
So speaking of some of the games this weekend, so let's jump right out with the Penn State Ohio State game. Did you get a chance to catch it?
Boner move by the same as last year. He didn't give it to their better players. Samuel was a rare use. I mean, 74-yard run, and I don't think he got many other touches. And they just got beat. That's all. They've only. Bill kind of gave me a shot this afternoon about the loss, and I thought I looked
did?
it up. Yeah, you did. You know you did. All right. And we've lost 5 games in 5 years. I mean, that's
Ooh.
not bad.
Yeah,
So
tell you.
and I don't think they'll lose again this year, except maybe to Michigan. So
5 games in how many years?
5 and 5.
Wow.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So who do they have teed up for their next coach? I'm just kidding, Georgie. It seems to me that these mega schools, these
Maybe Mora.
yeah. Well, listen, he's going somewhere.
Kiffin?
No
No,
telling.
he'd go to the Browns. Haslam will hire him because now this other guy wants. He threw his microphone or his headset off and he just said that let the defensive coordinator suck. So let him call the rest of the plays because it's his problem. He only gave up 500 some yards.
Yeah,
So,
that was.
Yeah, man, I didn't get a chance to see that game. The games didn't go to the sports bar.
Yep.
Because Jay had to work, and so I just stayed at home, and I ended up with oh God, I forgot what the game was. It wasn't very interesting. It was Steelers and Patriots.
Yep.
Was one, and the other one was the Raiders in Jacksonville.
Yep, another field goal.
Yeah,
Yep. I saw
The
that.
streak is intact.
Yeah, there you go.
Novak
They're
43
rolling
yard
now.
field goal, 6-0 Houston.
6-0. Yeah. Okay. If that's well, I'm not going to call that one. Didn't realize I could have called last
My
night.
shock was that I didn't
Well, ended in a
realize
tie.
that Kevin Hogan, the guy from Stanford, actually he ran for over 100 yards for Cleveland, whether it was by for his life or whatever. I didn't know he ran in for Stanford. That was kind of amazing.
Yeah. So back to the Michigan game.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I'm sorry, the Ohio State game.
Yes.
So they called it. They were arguing that the penalty should have been called for touching the player. I know that was an NFL rule. I didn't realize it was a college rule. Same thing actually happened last night to Seattle.
And the Seattle-Arizona game.
Yeah, and
I really don't watch the games. I just do it on the internet, and they mention it. I the comment section to me is just the people that are losers that they have to whine about something.
Right.
And they said about some pass interference on the last drive. Is that what you're talking about?
No, actually, when the guy hurdled the line, I guess that you're not allowed to touch a player when you hurdle a line, which I knew was a pro rule. I didn't know it was a college
Yeah,
rule.
the center during a PAT or a field goal attempt.
Right, they can't touch him at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're
Wow, there's
defenseless.
a new one. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Well, they're defenseless, and
who did that?
According to, reports or whatever, the Penn State guy did it.
Cheaters.
Yeah, which would make.
Yeah, well.
If you look at it technically, that field goal did count, and Ohio State won. They're still number 2. Just kidding. That didn't really happen.
Yeah, and as we go back, and I'm censoring it. If my aunt had blah blah, she'd be my uncle too. The game is over. The game is over, and Ohio State lost. And when you're up by 14 points going into the fourth quarter, and you lose that, you deserve to lose, no matter what the other stuff happened. It's they had a letdown, and don't forget. I'm not making excuses, but this team is still half freshmen and sophomores, and they're playing a lot of minutes, so they're. Down the road, they're going to be, I think, pretty decent. But so is Michigan.
Well, we'll see.
well,
Have you seen Alabama play, by the way?
I have not. I've watched. I watched the first half of that game against Texas
A
A&M.
gentleman, I can't remember who it was. I just got it off of some site, said that of the front 7 will all go in the first 2 rounds if they come out this year for Alabama.
I believe that, and there will be another 7 to
Yeah,
to
fill that
them up.
spot. Yeah,
I understand.
they're
Absolutely.
always waiting in the wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
So some of the other games this weekend. What do you think of Stanford scoring 5 points?
Yeah, I have no idea what has happened. Well, I'm one to speak. I have no idea what happened. UCLA doesn't have any problem scoring points. They get outscored.
Yeah.
If you have to score 50 to win every week, then you become the New Orleans Saints, basically, of college.
Right.
But I don't, and also Houston, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was one
Took
of
another
those
dive.
20 and a half down the old shooter.
Yeah, that is that's and now those teams that unfortunately lost to Houston early on, if they were still that juggernaut down there, then those losses don't look bad.
Right.
But now those losses, they're starting to.
Well, how about Navy with the impressive win over Memphis?
Yeah, in fact,
Very,
that was
very
one
good.
of my picks.
Yep.
A dog too.
Hey, that was on the Dirty Dozen last week. And actually took me.
I'm sorry, I joked on that one. That was good.
Thank you, thank you, George. I
Yes,
appreciate
yes.
that, sir.
You got them long arms too to take care of that. No.
Yeah, it's one of my picks, folks. Yeah, and it was on the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, it was on the Dirty Dozen last week, and I actually was on. I like Navy. I watched Memphis the week before, which they got backdoored, and with about a minute to go, and ended up costing me. But so that was a vindictive play, and actually Brett brought that up, and he was right.
Great handicapping. Fantastic.
Yeah, I know I'm not that very good. Wait till we get to college basketball, you'll be calling me even luckier.
Vindictive better.
That's right. Hey, vindictive wins, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it does.
and George, now what we have coming up here is, and I don't think that you were on the last time we did this. That I was actually on the show last week.
Yes.
We have something we call that Brett came up with, the Dirty Dozens.
The Dirty Dozen.
These are basically picks. It's not about straight up picks, and so we'd like to get into that as sort of like the last feature of our segment. And are you ready, sir? And I will be happy to go. Well, Brett was kind enough to already give us his picks, and I'll be happy to go first in this case. So you'll get a chance to kind of mull it over, Georgie.
That'd be nice.
All righty.
Because I would like to mull it.
Okay, what's the first one up? We have Jeffrey.
Virginia Tech at Pitt, ACC.
Virginia Tech at Pitt. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still mulling.
Okay. Brett went with.
Always good to
Okay.
give me this up front here, Billy. Thank you again.
That's okay, George.
Thank you.
Brett went with Virginia Tech.
Yes. I'm going with Virginia Tech, but I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 4.5.
Okay.
That's a good play.
All righty.
Okay, next play is Big 12. West Virginia at Oklahoma State. Bill?
I'm going to go with Oklahoma State.
Um,
Drag it out.
I'm gonna drag it out. I'm gonna take West Virginia.
Okay. And Brett took West Virginia.
Yep.
Wow, this is right on this. I got it at dead even. Wow, I'm going to drop. I'm going with Oklahoma State.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
Next one, Big Ten. Nebraska at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin to win. Nebraska best bet +9.
All
I
right.
love that.
I'm going with Wisconsin to win.
I am taking Wisconsin and Nebraska, just like George said. I actually have Nebraska as my play of the week.
And Brett took Wisconsin.
Next one, Washington at Utah.
Woo!
Washington to win. Utah almost close to a best bet.
Washington to win.
Yes, sir. But Utah to cover the spread.
And I'm going with Washington to win.
I'm gonna take Washington. I think they have a lot to play for. And Brett was also on Washington.
Brett also is on Washington.
Next play, SEC, Florida at Georgia. And he said versus, so I'm thinking it might be neutral stadium.
It's at Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is the world's largest cocktail party.
Nice.
I'm going with Florida. Georgia
Yeah.
has been very disappointing.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm going
I
to go
agree.
with Florida also, and so is Brett.
Florida across the board.
Next one, Ohio at Toledo. Big Mac
That
game.
shouldn't even be on the sheet. It's Toledo by 100.
Oh,
I'm going with Toledo.
I think Toledo wins
Except
by
Frank
3
Solich
touchdowns.
is one of the best coaches in all of America. Got screwed at Nebraska, by the way.
Even though I had Ohio against a huge line move last week. The line went from 4 to 1. And I just,
I had Ohio against what, Kent?
yeah, it
Oh,
opened up at
easy.
4, it
Oh,
dropped all the way to
easy,
1. I
easy
picked it up
pick.
at 1 on Saturday
That's
morning.
because the Kent quarterback ended up playing. But he's a running back that's never been a quarterback before. But that's good pick. Good pick.
Navy at South Florida.
I'm going with the South Floridas.
I'm going to keep riding this Navy gravy train.
The midshipman.
Yep.
I'm going to take midshipman also. And then Brett was on South Florida.
All right, got a split on that one.
Mountain West. Boise at Wyoming. That should be a nice
Wow.
one too.
I'll
I'm gonna-
take Boise, but I'm going to go with this. This is another best better with Wyoming plus, I believe, 13.5.
Yeah. I think Boise's
Power
only
team.
covered one game so far this year. I'm going to take Boise to win the game. I think it'll be closer. Probably not a game that I'll bet, but
Yeah, I'm going to go with Boise State.
Boise. And then Brett was also on
Brett
Boise.
was also Boise.
Appalachian State at Georgia Southern.
My boys.
Sun Belt Conference.
God, you got to be kidding me.
I'm,
Now,
gonna-
I got to go last on this one. I don't even know. What
I'm going
state
with
we-
Appalachian State.
I'm going with Appalachian State, and I'm going to share something with you. So I was spending some time with a guy this weekend, Jabari
Really?
Fletcher,
Really?
and he showed me a ring.
In a cabin or what?
Yeah, in a cabin, just him and I, and
Okay, good.
it was very romantic, candlelit.
Oh, you had already. So this is a past performance.
Oh,
I mean,
of
a
course.
past date. Okay.
Yeah, of course. So he had a national championship ring. I was taking a look at,
Wow.
and
What's his name?
Jabari Fletcher, and
Oh yeah.
on their championship ring for Appalachian State actually has the score of the Michigan game.
You really?
Not the championship game.
The score of the
The
Michigan?
score of the Michigan game.
Wow.
I actually have photos of this. We will have that available for you. So we're going from there to the NFL. Packers at the Falcons.
Man. I can't believe that the Falcons lose 2 in a row at home. I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Um,
Love to be prepared, Billy. Me and you need to talk.
you know the best thing about this Dirty Dozen, we actually made a deal that we would not know these, and you should have sent them to George though.
Yeah.
No, I did. I get him, but I didn't know you would do it over the air. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah,
thought
that's
that I'm out of the loop here.
I'm going to take the Packers in this game, and then Brett's on the Falcons.
Good.
Next game, I believe this Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Philly at Dallas.
Philly at Dallas.
Dallas all the way by
Dallas. Yeah, Cowboys.
I don't think the Dallas can be stopped unless they put Romo in.
No, the man up in the owner's booth will stop this at some. He'll ruin this gravy train.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
And then
Right,
the very final one, the Raiders at Tampa Bay.
Oh,
Wow.
Buccaneers. They looked absolutely spectacular yesterday. After being down 14-0 in San Francisco, came back and really kind of handed it to them.
Yep,
I'll go the other team.
the Raiders. I'm actually going to take the Raiders also.
Vegas Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Hopefully they call it Vegas Raiders, but the Las Vegas Raiders. And I actually was on the Bucks yesterday +1. That was actually one of my best
Outstanding.
bets.
Yeah, and of course the
and
Brett.
I was actually betting against San Fran, so it wasn't really I was betting the Bucks, but I was really betting against San Fran. They don't have any speed or size in wide receiver. I really feel sorry for any quarterback.
Yeah, but
that runs that shit.
Brett took the Buccaneers.
Yep, Brett took the Bucks.
He took the Bucks as well. Yeah, all right.
All right.
So that is the dirty dozen, up or
I
down.
still can't find Appalachian State. Is there what's the number of it?
We don't have the numbers on here, unfortunately. Against Georgia Southern, I believe it's a
At
12
Georgia
o'clock.
Southern.
12 o'clock game. 3 o'clock game
All
on
right.
the East Coast.
Well, just give me Appalachian then, because I don't even have it in. They're not even on my thing.
All right,
Good on
we got you.
All right. Well, Georgie, as always, buddy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And needless to say, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to say, go Tribe.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Hopefully this time next week
eight
will
to
be.
5 odds, baby.
Hopefully this time next week we'll be talking about the Tribe being up a game.
How many games have we done? That's on Halloween. You're going to have a program, or I'll
Absolutely.
dress up for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We're having a special
We are.
special occasion
yeah.
on.
And we want everybody to be sure to tune in to the Halloween special.
That's
I'm
right.
going to dress up like a Democrat, so that'll be good.
There you go.
That would-
All right.
that would be-
Georgie.
that would be dirty.
As always, my man. Thank you so
again
much.
for letting me enjoy this, and I will talk whenever we talk. So.
Yeah. And,
Thanks, George.
again, congratulations on the Cavs getting their rings tomorrow night. Enjoy the ceremony.
That's the least sport that I like. I don't even like modern basketball. So.
Well, I thought maybe
will
you
not-
might watch that half hour of the ring ceremony and then go
no,
back
I
to
wanna
the
see
game that
the,
counts.
The maker's mark.
No, I just don't. If Oscar Robertson and Austin Carr and those guys were playing in that game, I'd watch it. But the no basketball allowed league is not in my league. So I
Okay.
apologize.
I do agree that the shorts are too long these days.
No, I don't mean that. I mean just the quality. I mean, let's go back real fast, to somebody, and goes with football also. Somebody lacerated a Browns player, that Poyer, 2 weeks ago, and lacerated his kidney because he gave him a cheap shot on the side, and he posted on the internet showing what a badass he was to do that. Classy, all right.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's why I don't like. There's too much celebration and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
that's the last time I'll talk to you, but it'll be worth it. So, okay. Jeffrey, thank you for everything, and I hope Brett did a good job this week
Absolutely.
at his school. Right, Billy?
You got it.
Do you have is the Australian gentleman there tonight?
We're going to be
He's gonna
calling
be
him
calling
in.
in,
He's
yeah.
going to be calling in
Okay,
in a couple of minutes.
ask him about, I believe the Ohio State punter is from there. Ask him if he trained him, because he's superb.
He did.
He did.
Oh, he did already. Okay, never mind.
As well as the Penn State punter.
Not the kicker, though.
He was at the game.
Okay. All right. Have a great night, guys.
Take it easy,
care.
Georgie.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, that was the prognosticator himself, George Jorge Mish from Sports Central in Cleveland. Looking forward to opening game tomorrow, the Cleveland Indians hosting the Chicago Cubs, World Series game #1. And when we come back, we're going to hopefully be joined by Nathan Chapman of Pro Kick Australia. And this is an absolutely remarkable story, so please stay tuned. Coming back, Southern Nevada Sports News in just a minute.
Back in '92, I was drafted number 2 overall and going all the way up to Brisbane to start my AFL career. We'd spent 5 years with Brisbane, played in a couple of finals, which was amazing. It was an interesting trade with Brad Scott and John Barker. You know, one of the old stories, didn't get along with the coach and found myself out of work 3 years later at 25 years of age. And that sort of sparked, what am I going to do next? A little beknownst to the teams is I would practice kicking a torpedo in the theory that one day I'll go across to America. I've got this film here that I'd put together, and a friend of mine, Justin Lepich, rang me and said, I know you're trying to do this punting. Did you know that Schwalbe was on and he was talking about the Packers? Timing just sort of worked, and they said, hey, we'd love to take a look at you. 100 kicks later, I was sitting up in a boardroom signing documents saying that I was going to be a Packer. So it was like literally overnight. I look back, and as much as I loved the AFL and playing it, the 8 months that I had there was as exciting as 8 years in the AFL. There was a case of there's got to be a way for someone to help anyone else who wants to do it. Set up Pro Kick Australia and sort of went from there. For the 50 guys that we've got in America, some of these guys are playing in front of 110,000 people each week. Our main one that we put across was Chris Bryan. We've got him signed at Green Bay, and we've got Paul Bowers, who was at Carlton. We worked with Cameron Johnson, who was on Melbourne's list for a couple of years. Didn't get given his opportunity in the AFL ranks.
Doubts the eye of this national championship win.
You know, he's got some amazing trophies and rings, bold rings that they win, and a memory that he'll cherish forever. Not everyone gets to play 300 games, and not everyone gets to have their fairy tale ending, but to see the smile on their faces, and when it's come from a lot of the time disappointment from now not being able to pursue AFL, it's really rewarding in that sense.
All right, we are back for round two. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And with us on the line is an absolutely remarkable gentleman of a remarkable story in sports and in training of what is really an American sport, without a doubt, which is football, American football. But this is Nathan Chapman of Pro Kick Australia. Nathan, how you doing, man?
Bill and Jeff, how you going? My two favourite Southern Nevadians.
Oh, thanks,
Going, man?
I appreciate that. And if you don't mind, man, can we call you Chappie?
You can indeed. That's perfect.
All right. Well, Chappie, thank you very much for taking time. I know it's about 9:30 there, and you had a very, very busy weekend with watching some of your pupils at the really and one at least at the highest level of American football. How does it feel, first of all, to take a look at your prodigies and how fast that they are literally spreading across the country here?
Look, it's a really interesting moment for me because what people might not understand is it's been a very, very hard slog from day one, and the game on the weekend, I got to see two of, I guess, our students play against each other, but one at Penn State and one at Ohio State in what went down as, I guess a career game, in terms of the way it panned out, and something that's going to be remembered for a long time, especially for Penn State. But what people don't realise is in 9 years, that's my first ever game of college football that I've ever seen live.
Oh,
so
wow.
for me,
really?
it was a real moment that had taken a long time to come. So to witness that game in particular, was a pretty, I assume they're all like that, right?
Oh yeah,
sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, every week a non-ring team knocks off the number 2 team.
Yeah, well, that's right. And then, and then we then drove down to watch one of my first ever students in Jordan Berry, who one of the first 3 guys who came through our program was Jordan Berry, to then play at the Steelers, the next day. So, it's been a fantastic couple of days so far, and really memorable, enjoyable. Parts were fun and exciting. Others were just, humbled and take in the moment and go, hey, do you know what? It was worth the wait. But certainly good to be able to see them play.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
One of the things that I liked was you taking a selfie with these two guys on the sideline, which was great. And
Yeah.
it's you got two guys in opposing uniforms. Obviously both out of your program, which is awesome. And then the next day, you got pictures, standing on the Steeler logo in Steeler Stadium, which is great. Heinz Field. I mean, tell me how that feels, because I know you've been on an NFL field before. With your stint with the Green Bay Packers. Tell me how that felt again, just to get down there on the field.
I've got a saying: it's always better when you're inside the fence.
Right.
Meaning, if you're lucky enough to be a part of a system where you're able to train at that level, play at that level, be involved in an organisation at that level, there's a real, there's a real moment where you've got to say, hey, I'm blessed at where I am and what I've achieved, and to be able to take the most out of it. And as soon as you can realise that and recognise that and not waste any moment, because it can stop really quickly. So to walk back out onto a field to see, there's not that many times where an Ohio State player will run to the Penn State bench and get away with it.
Right.
Unless you're an Australian and you're going to run over, to the sideline. I guess we're fortunate because we break down that barrier of we hate everyone on the other team scenario, until after the game type thing. It's these guys who train together end up playing against each other in the I guess the biggest stadiums, in the country. And for us, it's listen. There's no boundaries that you can, that will shy away from, meaning that you can't make contact and go beyond. This is a rivalry game and whatever. We'll make sure that all of our guys are humble enough to say, look how far we've come. We're going to spend, 20 seconds to enjoy it, but then we'll go out and, punch each other's teeth out. So that's fine.
Yeah. How did you like Happy Valley?
Oh, look, it was fantastic. Apart from, I couldn't feel my toes. It was so cold.
Man.
So I hadn't been, I hadn't sort of experienced. Well, it was cold, and I've been in the cold, but I guess the moment of just saying, well, I'm not leaving, and this is where I am. I'm going to enjoy it no matter what. So, a whiteout game, 107,000 people. We've got players playing. One of them was always going to be happier than the other at the end of the game, and that didn't matter. It was a case of, speaking to Cam Johnson after the game or, the next day, I was like, oh, well, you guys have won lots of games in the past. Today you lost one. All right, we'll get over it, and then we'll go back and win next week.
Now, now being a coach, were you ribbing him for not catching that guy or no? Because it looked like he had a beat on him for a second, and then I was like, well, I think he might catch him, and then he did not catch him.
Yeah. Well, again, and I sort of looked at it and thought, do you know what? It's actually a bit of as bad as the play ended up for Ohio State. It actually showed another side of what Cameron Johnson brings. He's a senior.
Yeah.
What can he provide at the next level? Well, guess what? He runs a 4-3.
Yeah.
And that's something that can be taken into effect. Now, if you think about it, he's had 5 punts for the game. It's late in the fourth quarter. It's 35 degrees, and he doesn't run during the game. And all of a sudden, he's had to get up off his knees and chase someone down flat out. Like it's an incredible to know that he kept up with a corner. So that play, in a sense, brought out another part of his game that he'll need possibly to take to the next level. So it would have been nice for him to tackle him, and yeah, we did certainly give him a little bit of stick to say, well, hold on, mate, grab a jersey.
Yeah. Well, when I saw him chasing him, I was like, it looked like he had an angle on him. I thought he was going to catch him, but you kind of felt like that guy was not going to be denied.
Yeah,
running away.
I can't imagine a punter running a 4-3. I'm still trying to get over that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fast. He's fast, and it's not like he trains for it.
That might be a highlight reel for him. Part of his highlight film. Yeah. Not his punts, but the fact that he almost caught this guy.
Yeah. Well, that's a positive to take out of that play. Well, I think, in the special teams meeting, I'm sure I'll see if he can manoeuvre the attention away from the result and say, well, I can run. And I nearly
Very
take
good.
it.
And from a kneeling position.
Yeah.
So I noticed you're doing some traveling with some of the other proteges from Pro Kick. How's that feel? Visiting with all these guys in the States and go to all these different spots. I know you did a little tour last year and went to a different spot. Do you have any other places you plan on going? Between now and before you head back to down under.
Yeah. I came over to do some work Monday through Wednesday. The football games are something that I've tagged on to the front and the end of the trip. I've got some work to do this week in Columbus, so we just drove into town tonight. And the football's one side of it. I get a chance to travel with Tom Hackett and Jamie Keane, and I've got another young man, Jake Ford, he's going up on a visit up in northern Michigan. So he's here for a few days, and then he'll fly up there on Monday. And then it's good, it's fun, but we're here for a reason, and we're trying to help Tom and Jamie get to the next level as well. It's about they're coming to get some training in and do what they can to help their chances of getting on a roster, whether it be getting a workout late in the season here now, or getting some film to send to coaches during the off season. So there's a real fun part to it, but in essence, we've got two guys out of work that we need in the NFL on a roster, and so business as usual. It's good fun. We'll have a beer at night, but at the same time, we've got some work to do to help them succeed at what they're good at.
Well, I saw Jake Ford's posts, his pictures, and I might steal his pose. That the little thumbs up with in the middle of his chest. I really like that pose. He's at Bill. You have to see every single picture that this guy's in. He's got the exact same pose, and it's just classic, like 90-degree angle, elbow, and just a really classic.
That's, to be honest, we talk about that today. That didn't come about by do something the same. He just seemed to do it every time, and then it became, oh, hang on, everyone started commenting on it. So I think that one's going to stick.
Well, I have the same thing. I do a lot of the hang loose sign, like when I take pictures. So it's funny because we had Jacob from Bishop Gorman in here a few weeks ago. And
yeah.
I don't know if you saw the picture, but I'm doing it, and then on the other side, he's doing it.
He's
which
doing
is
it as
pretty
well.
Cool. He's
yeah.
from Hawaii, but I don't know where I picked that up. I just have a tendency to do it. So where is Jake working out? You said Northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan.
Oh, for Northern Michigan University. Okay.
Yeah, Division II school up there, and that's what and a great story. Well, not a great story in the overall sense. Gone through a lot of big roller coaster. Jake has academics is something that's really important to him. Had actually had an offer to Texas and Maryland last year, but academically they didn't do his program. So, what we do love about his story is his, relentless quest to become educated and to go wherever is going to provide him with that education and not be, bamboozled by, I need to play big Division I football, and that's it. So, for him to go to a Division II school in the freezing cold because of academics is, really good quality in what he's doing. Because we have to keep reminding ourselves, and we go through this process a little bit where a lot of people might see some of the success we've had and had guys in some really big programs, but let's be honest, not everyone can go to a big program, and there has to be a reality check of where you suit, academically and athletically and with your ability on the punting, and it's a particular, you need to be able to do that job for a team, and the more players who are aware or on the same level and reality of where we believe they are, we believe there's more guys that should take up Division II and 1AA offers as well as 1A, and not just get blinded by the lights of Big Ten football or SEC.
Well, I did see one of the Pro Kick guys that just advanced from Snow, and he's going to talk to the guys at Texas Tech. And
Yeah, he went and received an offer and committed, I think, yesterday. So that's all
fantastic.
done and dusted. So you had an official visit. A lot of the coaches like to shake your hand and look into your eyes and see what you're made of. And they like Dom. He's a great kid out of Adelaide and been doing really good at Snow College. So he's going to have a great next couple of years and hopefully provide them with some boost that they need in special teams.
Well, by all means, pass along our salutations and congratulations.
Absolutely.
I will indeed.
And I see the fellowship of the guys. There was a post recently with Sleep Dalton in entering a relationship, and reading through this post was absolutely the most hilarious thing. You could see everybody kind of going back and forth at each other, and it's just I see that you got a good group of guys there, and Bill and I are heavily rooting for you guys, and all the programs that you're in. And how many programs is that, by the way?
I think we've got 32 current this year in football. Again, we've sort of got this really weird number that I know we've placed 65 people. We've had 65 guys either sign a pro contract, go to college on scholarship, or move up from junior college. So it's a weird number of we might send you to Snow College and then you go to Texas Tech. Okay, so the numbers thereabouts, or we know we've got a rough figure of about 65, and I think 32, 33 current guys playing football.
Wow.
So keeps it busy Sunday morning, and I have to make sure that I still get time to spend with my own kids rather than the ones I train. Yeah.
Well, Chappie, this again, it's a remarkable story. And can you briefly share with us, the history of Pro Kick?
Well, look, my story goes, I guess I played professionally in Australian rules football for 8 years. Thought I'd try my hand at punting. Spent a couple of years practicing and trying to find a way over. Got lucky enough, got signed by the Green Bay Packers, spent 8 months with them. Got let go in the roster cuts before the season, came home, basically started Pro Kick out of nothing, just an idea of how can other guys get across there and not make the mistakes I made, and that's where it spawned from there. And then it was literally a tough slog walking away from a job to do this full time. I had to travel what would be probably from Las Vegas to Texas every week for 3 days. It was that sort of distance to train the guys I had, which was Jordan Berry, who's now at the Steelers. We had Tommy Dydam, who went to Portland State, and Alex Tanaki, who went to Hawaii. So that was our main 3 college guys that went across. So I certainly went from a solid family job to nothing, and had to work my tail off for years on end. And I commuted and flew every week, every second week for 5 years, until we finally made the move down to Victoria and then sort of built it. So you trust me, guys, this is it might look really good on the outside that we've got lots of players and it's been a flourishing thing, but let's just say that the reason we've been sort of good at what we've done is because we were too stupid. Johnny and Smith and I were too stupid to give it up. And
That's great.
for 4 years we should have said that's enough. When our wives were like saying, "Listen, what are you doing?" We're like, well, what are you doing? You're not providing for your family. This is really tough. But we had a belief that we could get it to a certain level, and our stubbornness to give up on something we'd started, and now we're enjoying that from the attention that we've probably been given in the last few months, which has been amazing, but certainly came with lots of hard work and late nights and sacrificing a lot from a family point of view to make it like this, so that these guys can have the opportunity to play football and get an education.
Well, I know that it's about just pouring into other folks. I mean, Bill and I, as you know,
we have some
we
certainly can sympathize with you when you say we weren't smart enough to maybe walk away
Exactly.
at a certain point. So listen, we absolutely get it, but it is still it's an incredible story.
Yep.
Because coming from a country that is, I'm not say that you actually receive American football and kind of and enjoy it maybe at the level that we do, to basically foster this niche operation that you have, but be able to have the numbers and the success you've had here in the United States is absolutely remarkable. And it's a real hats off to you and the Emperor and your other your team down there that make Pro Kick what it is today.
Yeah, well, no, I appreciate that, guys. And I've got no doubt we can double what we're doing. I know we can put more players, at the college level. It's hopefully more of those start to filter up into the NFL. I've got no doubt they will. It's a bit of a numbers game. It's sort of broadening. We're continually looking at opportunities to come and train in America, to train with young American lads. We've got a program sort of happening, which I think is which will be around the April time, where we'll have International Week, where I'll sort of putting together the dates where young American kids can come across and train with us in Australia, get to see Australia, but also train the way we do, learn the Aussie kick, just like Sam Lloyd did, who was a young American kid, and his dad out of California came out for a week, learned the Aussie kick, and we took that and got him an offer and scholarship to Vanderbilt, and he does that Aussie kick a lot now. So we know there's scope for, again, we train Australians because we live in Australia. Yeah. I'll train American kids. I want to teach. I want to part on the information. If the American kids get better at certain kicks, that's fine. I want them to, because it means that our guys need to be better as well. So it's about the development of the game and special teams and being a punter and what it means. And I've got no doubt, if we look at the numbers this year, the amount of kids, we've had the top three guys, great, which is a great statistic. But the amount of guys who have had as many kicks and still have a 49, 48 yard average, it's sort of unheard of.
That's awesome.
The game's changed, and I'm glad the US kids have decided to really, dig their heels in and I might say the words keep up, but it's a case of we want to continue to raise the bar, and one in, all in. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you want to learn, I'll train you.
Well, listen, Chappie, we're just about at the end of this segment. We cannot thank you enough for coming on and sharing, again, what is going on with Pro Kick, the success, and we know that you guys are just going to keep getting better and better, and at some point or another, word is really going to get out, and I suspect that it'll be maybe a trickle at first, a few American kids going over, and then when they come back and they realize what's going on, word is going to get around, and then suddenly it's going to be charters coming over, and then these kids spending time over there, and going back and continuing to spread the gospel. We can't thank you enough for coming on, man.
Well, I got a 9-year-old Keon Chapman, and I'm going to send him over there and get him all trained up by the masters.
No, you know what? I think people sort of say that we do a good job. We're just really passionate about what we do, and I think we like to think we communicate that well, but we don't accept mediocrity, and we expect the best out of them, and I think that's one thing that's helped us. The kids are the ones kicking the ball. I think it's us in charge who have to give them the guidance as to how to do it and do it confidently, and put the work ethic in. So hey, bring them on. Hey, the younger there's again, it's always about the education. So bring them all. Happy to have them.
All right, man, and thank you again, man. We really appreciate it, and good luck to the rest of your trip.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, that was Nathan Chapman of Pro Kick Australia. Absolutely remarkable story. Do go online. They do have a Facebook page. Become a fan. I'd like to thank George Mish for joining us, of course, from Cleveland, anticipating the first game of the World Series. As always, Jeff, thanks for coming in, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and join us next Monday, Halloween. It's going to be a very special show on the
Cannot
31st. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com. Have a great week.